Well, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to today's show. Now, this is a show dedicated to planning for the future. And I'm sure that you may be planning for maybe weddings, you may plan for birthday parties, and so much more. But the one thing we don't seem to plan enough for is what happens when we pass, what happens for our loved ones. This is all about planning for the inevitable. And when you do plan for the inevitable, it makes it so much easier for your loved ones. Your wishes are taken care of. Anything that you may have wanted in your funerals are taken care of. But it is also about what you leave behind. What is your legacy? And a lot of us put it off because maybe we're too busy in our lives. A lot of us put it off until the next day and the next day and the next day after that. But doing something like this is a positive thing to do. Doing something like planning your will, planning for your estate, planning for your loved ones is a selfless act. And tonight we're going to be talking to the planning crowd. I want to introduce you to Ian Peace, and Ian Peace is our director, of course, of the planning crowd, and we've got Helen Hill, who's a legal services director. It's great to have your company, both of you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Now, Ian, can you tell us a little bit more about the planning crowd?
Yeah, I'm happy to. We're a legal services provider, but we specialise in helping people to protect their assets, and as you just alluded to make sure that everything that people have worked hard for goes to the people that they want it to. That's pretty much what we specialise in. But we have a comprehensive range of services, not just wills and lasting powers of attorney. We also deal with probate and estate administration, so we're able to help people not just from the time they draft the will, but at the point where it needs to be read. In addition to that, we also help protect assets. We manage over £350 million worth of assets for clients at the moment as well. We deal with land registry, we deal with conveyancing, so we're kind of a one-stop shop for legal services.
And there every single step of the way with us also.
That's right.
Now, the services provided: wills, lasting power of attorneys, you've got trusts, probate, also trust administration, conveyancing, bereavement, also deed of variation, trustee support, and so much more. Now, we'll go through all of that in the show for you, and all you have to do is pick up the phone and talk to the lovely people, that client care team as well. So, of course, the number is a little bit different on the bottom of the screen tonight. It's 0333 600 2600. You can also go to the website as well. Details are right there. If you're idealworld.tv/TPC. One step. That's all it takes. And, of course, we'll be giving you all the details of the fantastic deals in just a moment. But Helen Hill, who has joined us, it's always lovely to see you as well, Helen. Why would our viewers choose yourselves to write their wills and estate planning?
It's because it's what we do all the time. We specialise in it. It's our main products that we provide. So we deal with the drafting of the will. We help the client through the process. We hold their hand, we talk them through it, and then we're there at the end as well. So we provide a complete service. We can even help your family through our bereavement service as well.
Yes,
so we're there to help to make sure that the wishes that you've put into place and the things that you've thought about and documented actually take effect. We've got a highly skilled team back in Lincoln. They're all on the phone. They're all ready and willing to help everyone tonight. So really, we just want people to pick up the phone and speak to them and take that first step.
And it's a positive thing as well, you know, it really is. It's something that, you know, once you've done it, you can put that away and know it's done for your loved ones. And it is, of course, for your family, for your loved ones also. Now, I did promise, of course, to show you the fantastic offers exclusive to our I Do World viewers. Now, let's take a look at those in detail for you. So you have got family, estate and will. Now, the price tonight is absolutely incredible, the deal tonight. So the recommended retail price, the usual price, £129. That offer tonight is £49. Now you can have 4 interest-free monthly payments if you like. And remember, they're just for 4 months. And that is it, of £12.25. You have a saving there of £80. Now, we'll be talking about a lasting power of attorney. The usual price of that is £299. That's down to £149 of 4 interest-free payments of £37.25. Now, also, you've got a will and a lasting power of attorney together. That's £428. And that is down to 4 interest-free payments, £44.75 if you do want to break up the cost. And of course, you're saving £249. Now, we have got a leading team of experts, our client care team, ready and waiting to take your call. But also, if you would just like somebody to call you back, all you have to do is text the word Wills to 88802. And of course, somebody from the lovely client care team will call you back. You don't need anything, by the way. You don't need to have all the details in front of you. You don't need to have all that paperwork from the shoebox under the bed or anything like that. You literally just have to make that call tonight. The lovely people there in Lincoln, so do give them a call. The details, by the way, at the bottom of the screen there for you. Helen, I just want to ask you, can you expand a little bit more about what Ian was saying with regard to the services that you offer, the many services you offer?
Yes, yeah, obviously will writing is our core, but surrounding that there are lots of services that kind of work alongside that. So we do conveyancing, we do probate and estate administration.
Yes.
As Ian mentioned, we manage a lot of trust funds for people as well. And I think it's because of the range of services that we provide that we're able to give advice to people when they're doing their own estate planning. And that helps us provide a real personal service. Everyone's circumstances are different.
Yes, of course.
And everyone at home will have different needs and wants and different wishes that they want to put into place. But because we've got the experience and we come across all sorts of circumstances, that really helps us to be able to give the right advice and make sure it's tailored to suit everybody's needs.
And that's the great thing about it. Everybody's different, everybody's got different needs, and everybody's got different circumstances, and it's wonderful just to be able to go to you and say, look, this is what I need, and can you advise me? And it's all there for you as well. Ian, can you tell me more about your lovely team in Lincoln?
Yeah, the client care team are great. They're highly trained. They're looking forward to being busy today.
Very.
But yeah, they're all highly trained, they're qualified, and as Helen's just touched on, because we do this every day, it's very rare there's a circumstance that we come across that we don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, of course.
I think sometimes people don't necessarily take that first step because they might be worried that their situation's too complex or that it might be like a really laborious task, you know, and I really can't be bothered with that. But most people are pleasantly surprised because we've done it all before, and actually we can turn what they think is a complex situation into a relatively simple one, and they're really glad they've taken that step. So the client care team are great, and they're there, and they're ready, just waiting for you to take that first step.
They are indeed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I mean, like you said, you know, what's something you think is complicated ourselves, when you've got a team like the Planning Crowd, they just make it so much easier. And we're going to have lots of testimonies coming up later on from people who've watched these shows and are really, as Ian said, pleasantly surprised about how easy it is because you've got a team of experts on your side. Helen, let's go back to wills, though. Who needs a will, and what do we need to do to get this will?
There's an argument that everybody needs a will.
Yeah.
There will be people sat at home who are saying, I haven't got anything to leave, or actually they're just putting it off because they don't want to think about it at the moment. And it is a difficult thing to think about. Luckily, our team are trained to be able to ask the right questions to extract
Indeed,
that
yes.
information. So that means that you don't need to know all the answers tonight. You don't need to know what you want to happen. You just give us a call. Secure the deal that we've got on offer tonight.
Absolutely.
Make sure you do that, but then you'll speak to an expert and they'll be able to talk you through the process and hold your hand all the way through.
Ian, at the start of the show, when I was introducing the show, I said a lot of us don't get around to making a will. Why do you think that is?
I think there's a number of reasons. People tell us, we always ask what motivated someone to get in touch. Obviously, a lot of the time it's through the show, which is great.
Of course, yes.
But a lot of times, I think Helen's touched on it there, that people perhaps, oh, you know, I'll get around to it in a bit because there's always something better to do. So I think there is a bit of apathy, you know, I'll get around to it. Or in some cases, worse still, is people think that actually they're going to be okay without a will and they don't need one. They're the people that can find themselves in real trouble because not a lot of people realise what does happen when you pass away. So it's always important to get some professional advice. And I think, definitely, as I've just said, a lot of people think that it might be, you know, boring, morbid, or too complex, and I assure you it isn't. But, you know, you have to take that first step and speak to one of our qualified team members, and they'll hold your hand and they'll talk you through it all. But a lot of it is just motivation.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just being positive about, you know, sort of in your life, really, you know, being positive
Yeah.
for what happens to your loved ones, what happens to the things, as you said, what you work hard for all your life. You want to know. I know there's a lot of people go, oh, but my partner will get it. It's I don't have to make a will, or
It's not always
it's
the
automatic.
case.
And it's not, is
No.
it? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Stay with us for that. It's very interesting. Ian, we talked about lasting power of attorney. You've got some great deals on that as well.
Yeah.
How does that fit into estate planning?
We know that, as dark as this sounds, we know that obviously when we do a will that the family's going to see a benefit from that, because we all know that we pass away. With the lasting power of attorney, that deals with what happens between now and then. And unfortunately, you know, life can throw you a curveball. Life can be cruel sometimes.
Absolutely.
And if it throws you a curveball, that means that you find yourself incapacitated. That can be through a serious illness, through an accident. It could even be through dementia, which is obviously heavily in the news at the moment. We're all living longer and suffering with that horrible disease, unfortunately. But if you do find yourself in a position where you can't make decisions for yourself, the lasting power of attorney is an incredibly valuable document, because it means that today, while you can make decisions, you can turn around and appoint someone that you trust to make decisions for you, both for your finances and both for your health and welfare as well.
And I've personal experience of that as well, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later on also. So I'm sure you all have your own personal experiences, so it's really good, I think, to listen to what a lasting power of attorney is, as well as the estate planning. I think it's a really interesting show for everyone tonight. Let me give you the details of everything we have for you here, because these are exclusive deals for Ideal World viewers, and which we know, of course, you're writing in, you're telling us how much, you know, you love watching the show, and how you've, you know, taken advantage of the deals as well. So thank you for that, because it's always lovely to hear from you as well. Now, the family estate and will, £129. Now, that on your exclusive offer is £49. Now, you can also divide that up into 4 interest-free monthly payments of £12.25. And in a month of £12.25, I did say the last time we were doing the show that that's a latte a day, and I can tell you, you know, £12.25, that's only for 4 months as well. So when you work that out, that is a fantastic deal. You've got a saving there of £80. Lasting power of attorney, £299, £149. And then, of course, you've got your interest-free payments as well of £37.25, saving yourself £150. Now, the will and the lasting power of attorney, you can get these together, usually £428. £179 tonight, of course, and 4 flexes of £44.75. You're saving yourself £249. Now, you can get in touch with us. The telephone number at the bottom of the screen is 0333 600 600, and that, of course, is the lovely client services team. They're absolutely lovely in Lincoln. Or if you want to, just text Wills to 88802, and you will get a call back from the planning crowd. And I'm just going to come back to you, because we've mentioned lasting power of attorney a few times. Can you just explain exactly what that is?
Okay, so there are 2 types of lasting power of attorney. There's the health and welfare, and that appoints somebody to make decisions about things like where you live and what medical treatment you receive and things like that.
Yes.
The document that we're talking about tonight is the Property and Affairs Lasting Power of Attorney. So that's a document where you appoint someone to manage your finances effectively. So everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, where you're corresponding with institutions to pay bills or to draw money out of the bank, or even things like claiming benefits, this document gives somebody the power to do that on your behalf if you're not able to do so. So it's a really powerful thing.
It really is, and I know you're going to mention it as well, Ian. You try making a phone call just to change your electricity provider, or, you know, just to, you know, to change a phone provider, anything. And honestly, it is, you need to have both partners there. It's really difficult. So, Ian, my question to you is really, why is it so important to have that lasting power of attorney in place?
Because, as you've just alluded to there, data protection's a real thing. You know,
Yes.
you can't.
me.
You know, you can't just phone up and pretend to be someone else. You might be able to try. I don't think I could pull your accent off, Jen, to be fair, so I probably wouldn't
I
get
don't know,
very
you
far.
give it a good try.
Maybe. But you can't walk into a bank and say, look, something horrible's happened to my wife, to my husband, to my partner, to my friend. Believe me, honestly, it has, and they need some money to pay some bills. Obviously, the bank's going to say, I'm sorry, the only way that we can deal with you is if you've got the proper authority. And that's what the lasting power of attorney does. And sadly, where people haven't planned, they realise how difficult it is when it's too late to do anything about it. Now, well, too late to do anything simple about it. We're also a court of protection specialists, and unfortunately we do see both sides of this coin. We register lasting powers of attorney with the Office of Public Guardian for people who've unfortunately lost capacity, and within a matter of weeks their attorneys are basically acting on their behalf and everything's sorted. If someone has to go the court of protection route because they haven't planned and the family have to approach us for that, not only does it take months, but it literally costs thousands of pounds, and that isn't, sadly, an exaggeration. And so, from an emotional point of view, and from a welfare point of view, it's really important to plan, but also from a financial point of view.
Oh, absolutely.
Because at a horrible time to have to wait all that time to get it sorted and spend all that money getting it right.
Yeah.
And you could have done it in a 15-minute phone call, frankly, you know, because we try and make it that simple for you.
Absolutely.
But you have to make that phone call. We have to.
And
we have
that's
to
all
put
it
in.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
And save yourself all of that, you know, anguish, really, like you said, at the most difficult time. And I've had personal experience of that where, you know, somebody didn't, you know, obviously just, you know, didn't make any plans. And my mum trying to just even go to a bank account or anything like that, it's really difficult. So please, and court of protection costs, my word, so please do make that call tonight. Helen, what do our viewers need to know in order to take advantage of these amazing deals tonight?
They don't need to know anything. They don't have to think about the detail. They just need to pick up the phone. There'll be lots of people who want to keep watching the show to find out more about it. That's fine. Drop us a text. We can give you a call back. You don't need any information. Like you said earlier, you don't need to go under the bed, in the shoebox, getting all your paperwork together. You don't need your niece's name and address or anything like that. Just give us a call. Give us a call. We'll arrange a time for you where we can go through everything, ask you all the right questions, get all that information from you, give you time to think about it. One of the key things is that we will not produce those documents until you're 100% happy. So when you've got your instructions provided and you're happy with the wishes that you've given us, then we'll produce the documents for you.
Ian, it's so important to plan ahead, isn't it?
Definitely,
Yeah.
If you had a crystal ball, and you knew what was going to happen if A, you lost capacity, or B, at the point you passed away, you'd know what you need in place. And unfortunately, none of us have got that crystal ball. So the only thing you can do is plan. I really bang the drum loud about planning for the worst and hoping for the best, because I do believe a little bit in Murphy's Law. My wife and I have got lasting powers of attorney. Okay, I'm getting on a bit now. My wife's a lot younger than me and very attractive, and yes, I'm punching above my weight. But Jeannie and I have got lasting powers of attorney, not because we think or want something bad to happen to us, but because we know how difficult it will be for each other and our family to deal with that situation. So we've got them, and they're prepped and ready to go, for want of a better description. But I hope that we never, ever have to use them. But I'd rather have something and not need to use it than not have it and need to use it. And when you don't plan, an awful time can be made a hell of a lot worse. I'm not saying that if you go through the heartache of someone, you know, getting dementia, or you go through the heartache of a bereavement, that it's made better because these documents are in place. But I promise you, it isn't made worse.
Yes, exactly.
Because that person planned. It's an incredibly selfless act. You know, it's Christmas time. This is a time when you start to think more about your family and your friends and, you know, what you've got.